What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction on the channel, and today I'll be reacting to the first episode of Code Geass奪還のRozé, or Rozé of the Recapture. Just a bit of background with Code Geass, as I don't think I've covered any on my channel, although maybe you guys have heard me talk about it. It was my favourite anime for many years. It was close to one of the first anime I watched as well, and it did get overtaken when I watched Gintama a couple of years back, but always gonna love Code Geass. First season was phenomenal, second season was fantastic as well, especially the ending, of course, but again, especially that first season, in my opinion, I thought was absolutely great. The ending of that, I actually think is better than the ending of season 2, which I imagine is quite an unpopular opinion, but very excited for this. I'm kind of honestly hoping it strays away a little bit from kind of like the main series. A lot of people just want to see Lelouch again, and a lot of people are bummed out that I think I actually did see that he is maybe slightly involved in this, but again, I honestly hope that it kind of goes in a different direction from that. Obviously the whole Geass powers and such, it will have many similarities, but I just I don't want to kind of cling to that, if that makes sense. I feel like that original 2 seasons is like something fantastic in its own right, and we should kind of keep it like that. I feel like it's like that Marvel thing of just kind of maybe doing too much with characters if we continue with them again. But as I did say, I have seen in some of the trailers and such a few characters that were in the original series, so super excited to get into this. It looks really good. I heard the opening song, which sounds fantastic, and yeah, I've got high hopes for this, which is something I haven't actually been saying too much when watching Code Geass content away from, again, the main 2 seasons. I've watched the Akita the Exiled movies, which are okay. Again, the Resurrection movie, which came out a couple of years ago, was okay as well, but like I said, I hope this kind of goes a little bit further away from the main storyline. But yeah, do let me know what you guys think about this first episode down in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys do like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with these weekly reactions. And let's get right into it. Obviously, these were released as a set of movies, I believe, 3 movies. And I think this should be about the same length, so I think it is just like a 1-to-1 translation from the movies to a TV series here. Looks like a pretty similar start, honestly, to the start of the original series with Suzaku and Lelouch. Some twins right here. Just getting blasted. Oh, no subtitles? Am I watching on the wrong? Yeah, apologies, guys. Sorry for that. What happened there is I used the unsubtitled version to get my thumbnails for videos, and it looks like that just set that to what it was automatically, so apologies about that. It does look like we are getting the opening. I haven't seen the visuals for it. I've heard the song plenty of times. It's really cool. I like the song quite a lot, especially considering it's like an English song. Okay. I would also say, obviously, the main series is not perfect. There's plenty of flaws in it. I see more flaws every time I do rewatch, but still, nothing kind of takes away that feeling I had on my first watch, honestly. I much more appreciate animes and how they made me feel during the period of when I watched them, like that feeling, like remembering how I felt during watching, rather than like the actual content. Although there's always exceptions, of course. I've also never cared too much about the action in Code Geass. It's much more a narrative interest for me. Neo-Britannian Empire. Okay. Well, that kind of sucks, right? But like I said, I almost hope. I mean, we're 2 minutes in, but I kind of hope that we stay away from that because I wouldn't say it tarnishes the legacy, but it does it does take away a bit from the ending of Code Geass, right? With the Lucius sacrifice, obviously spoilers, but I hope you guys have watched the series before picking up this. Yeah, it kind of takes away a bit from his sacrifice, right? The whole fact that Japan is oppressed again. I mean, I guess there's a thing of like you can't ever like stop things in the future, and you can't ever like stop oppression everywhere and such. But again, it just takes away a little bit, right? The Schneisel's back, is he? Interesting. I like that. I quite like Schneisel. Sorry guys, just making sure I get all the details for. Oh yeah, getting to the opening. I did see that this was taking place in Hokkaido, which I really like. I love Hokkaido. I've never been, obviously, but I'm a big fan of Golden Kamuy, and a lot of that's in Hokkaido. You don't get too many. It's not a massively popular place for anime. I don't think Hokkaido. Don't see too many anime set there, but I really like all the anime that are. Seems like a cool place. Definitely got to try and visit one day. That'd probably be quite cold, I think. Okay, here we go. And I do need to mute just because of copyright purposes. Apologies. I'll sort out the timer after we finish watching the open. Is that Lelouch and Suzaku there? I think. And then there's probably going to be these girls on the left side. That reminds me of the maid up there. I forget her name, but that's a pretty cool shot. That lighthouse. Again, never been too interested in mech stuff, to be honest with you. Although pretty cool design on the right there, actually, I like that. And my favourite mech user was Callan, personally. They're always my favourite mech segments. Here are the girls again. There's the Geass. Wonder what kind of Geass power is going to be seen in this series. Okay, pretty decent opening. Nothing fantastic, to be honest with you. I quite like the style of it. Again, I really like the song. I quite like the style, but again, nothing given away really there, to be honest with you. Which maybe I actually like. I don't mind when anime openings give a lot away because a lot of the time you can't really interpret it anyway, unless it's like really obvious. But not too much to go off there at all, actually. Yeah, these girls honestly maybe look like they're kind of descendants of Lelouch or something. They look quite similar to him, don't they? Oh, size of that cat. Yes. Not sure he's never not hungry, that cat. Do you know what I also really like, which is quite an unpopular opinion? I really like the whole Rolo stuff, season 2, to be fair. Well, that was very interesting. Which again, oof, damn. Which I think is, again, a quite unpopular opinion. Wait. I don't recognise the name. Again, I've said this before. I said this in the intro, of course. It's one of my favourite anime. I've watched it plenty of times, but even so, I don't remember all the names. And it's actually been quite a few years since I did rewatch it. But, yeah, again, don't expect me to know, even it being one of my favourite ever anime, don't expect me to know every name and every little detail. I don't recognise Jugo Samaragi, but I definitely recognise the name Sumeragi. Is that the little princess girl from the original 2 seasons, I think? Sakuya? And I know we're 5 minutes through the episode, and I've already spent quite a lot of time away from the episode, so I gotta apologise about that, guys. But as I've said, this is one of my favourite series, so I want to make sure I get all the details. Yeah. Okay. The Black Knights are still a thing, which is good. And it looks like, again, they've got some kind of giant shield. Why would they have a giant shield if, again, peace was kind of achieved by Lelouch? Perhaps it was built for this time period. I don't know. Again, 5 minutes through, so maybe I shouldn't be asking those questions. We'll assume it was built relatively recently. Energy full charge there. Ash. So yeah, this is the character we saw in the opening that kind of changes his necklace. I'm guessing it's a he. It looks like a girl, but I think that's a guy. Something happened there. And did it have something to do with Geass? I imagine so. That was a quick turn of personality. So I think if we actually paused and went through, I'm not going to do that because I've already paused enough. But I think if we paused and went through, we could probably decipher what kind of Geass he had. Not exactly, but like the type. I imagine it might be similar to Lelouch's. But it doesn't seem like it's exactly the same. It's not as robotic in terms of like making them follow that demand. A year ago. Nameless mercenaries. Situation like these, you've got to have faith. What I'll say. What was going on with these cats? But the Japanese loved cats. Probably haven't got enough money to look after them and stuff. I imagine. The Japanese people probably throwing out their pets because of the whole situation. Oh, Joe, I love this voice actor that this woman has here. Kulo Neko. That's Rose. Rozé. Greed, of course. Kurt Crane is such a pompous ass name, isn't it? So I'm guessing from what they said in the intro bit, that's a Knightmare they've got on the back of their trailer. That'd be a good one. That'd be a good Knightmare. That's not suspicious at all. The giant present on the road. Okay. Oh, he's part of it. Okay. So it does look a bit like, I think it was called the Guren, right? I forget exactly what the Callan's mech was called, but... Yeah, the real deal. So he doesn't look a bit like a clown with that jacket on. Not exactly a clown, but you know what I'm saying, like a jester or something with that cloak. Okay. We are invading. So what is this we're playing? Chess Nightmares. We've only got one piece though. I guess. Oh, one piece is the night. Not bad one piece to have, to be fair, tonight. Not bad. It can be quite unexpected. I feel like it's definitely better than like a bishop in a circumstance like this. Although people usually say bishop's the better piece to have at an endgame. I don't think it's the best piece to have when you've only got one piece, is it? Obviously the queen would be lovely to have, but we've only got a knight. It doesn't look like a bad position. Well, obviously it does, but you know, guys know what I'm saying. But just having a knight, it does look like a bad position. Oh, I will say again, I was never a massive fan of like the mech fights in the original, but with like modern day animation and such, that might be a really awesome part of this new series. I love the music as well. The music so far has been phenomenal. Rest in peace. Well, maybe not actually so much for these guys, but what happened to the knight? It really did like evolve into like a super powered queen. Hey, there's the shot from saw earlier, I think. Maybe in the opening. Oh damn. Oh, well, there he goes. That did look very nice there, didn't it? Animation wise. Again, I'm not really sure how that game worked out. Not sure how. That's the thing about a knight. A knight can't just checkmate. Can a knight checkmate? I mean, if your opponent's smart, shouldn't be able to, but especially from that position, how the hell does a knight checkmate from that position? I guess it was more of a kind of figuratively type thing. Oh shit! Oh wait, oh, so that's one of the sisters? Okay. So what I was talking about earlier with Sakuya, I guess I was getting her getting this lady here confused with, oh, what's her name? It was something, I can't remember. I'll try and get it up on my anime list. But she looks a little bit like Lelouch, but she also, again, she looks quite a bit like the princess that from season 1 and 2 of Code Geass. I forget her name exactly, but hopefully you guys know who I'm talking about here. I thought that looked a lot like her that was locked up, so again, you guys know help with the name, so apologies about that. Samaragi, yeah. Okay. So that's why I was confused. Again, I thought it was Sumeragi from season 1 and 2 that was locked up, but it was actually this relative of hers. Okay. That's cleared things up. Apologies, guys. It took like 5 minutes to search it up. I was hoping she'd be a character just on like the My Anime List page, but I guess not. Okay, so these sisters are relatives of hers. Interesting. Again, I assumed it was her locked up, so I think looks-wise, look a lot alike. Interesting. Again, they do look quite a bit like Lelouch as well, these sisters, in a way. Then again, all the characters kind of have that kind of sharp kind of look. So they're the two that hunted. Okay. Do you know what? That you probably could have tell that if you remembered the voice acting at the start of the episode. Let's see. Okay. Interesting. So he can. Oh, okay. Interesting. So they can. So it is quite a bit like the Lelouch's, but not quite as good. Although, interesting. Although again, it might help with that euthymia situation, like at the end of season 1, perhaps. Actually, I don't even know. Interesting. So she can command people just like Lelouch could, but they do have an option to refuse. And I guess she gets to decide what the payment for that is. Like, if they do refuse, in this case it was death, but perhaps in like the shopkeeper's case, it was like refuse to treat your workers kindly, or you lose your whole business, or something like that, or like you destroy your own business. Interesting. I guess that's the thing. We're only just getting a taste of this right now, but I guess we can theorize. But again, the more we see this, the more we should be able to tell about exactly how this Geass works. Pretty damn good one. It's always a good one to be able to command people. It's always OP. Don't get me wrong, but does have more limitations, it seems, this one. So his like nature just opposes it, so he's gonna kill himself right here. Like he just can't do that, so he just like yeah. Interesting. I kind of like the fact it's a nerfed version. I think powers and such are always better when there's actually like things. Not everything's perfect, if you know what I'm saying. Rutaka Haraka. Okay. No, a pretty good first episode so far. I'm liking it. I think there's definitely connections there if you want to look into them to some of the main series stuff as well, but it does also seem like it could be like someone could just watch this and have a good time. Bashiri Prison. Habashiri, again, another place I've heard from Golden Kamuy. There's going to be quite a few locations like that in this setting, which I really like. So that's her sister, not the Kaguya I was thinking. Okay. Kaguya, my bad. Sakura, I guess is her name. Not the woman I thought it was. Okay. Again, apologies about that. I guess that confusion actually was kind of warranted in a way because they are related. But yeah, we'll have to mute the ending here as well. I haven't heard anything about the ending, not visual nor sound wise. So it's English again. Right. Some of the openings for Code Geass are some of my absolute favourites. The flow ones especially, but I really like all of them. But obviously like Colours and I forget what World's End, Colours and World's End are absolute bangers of songs. Shame. I would have loved to hear Flow again in this series. They always do a fucking phenomenal job. Code Geass has always had a pretty damn awesome OST as well though. There's lots of really awesome OST songs I've got on my playlist. So the song's not all in English. I'm not sure what's being represented here, to be honest with you. Really not sure what's being represented there. Probably might become more obvious. Probably might. Probably it will become more obvious as the series goes on. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Again, apologies for all the pauses and such, but like I said, I'm a big fan of the main series, so I wanted to make sure about a few things here. So again, it looks like they might have some relation to Lelouch. I'm not really sure. I don't think so actually. The girls look a little bit like Lelouch, but they definitely look a lot like again, I think it was Sumeragi, I think the name was. Like I said, I still don't remember like every name. I mentioned earlier I don't even recognise that name. You guys know I'm terrible, but yeah, it looks like they are relation to her. And again, I think she was like a princess or something along those lines. So interesting. And these two sisters at the start of the episode we saw get hunted down by these two Waynes, I forget their name, Braith Waynes or whatever. Obviously kind of just like cookie cutter kind of villains for this episode. They weren't ultimately interesting, but we've got a nice taste of the Geass of Rozé right here, who's undercover. And yeah, pretty good start to be honest with you. Again, nothing quite as interesting kind of setup wise as the original. It's very similar, of course, in the way that the 11s are repressed, Japan's repressed, and Britannia or Neo Britannia in this version have kind of taken control. So very similar kind of setup, not nearly as well done as the first episode as Code Geass, of course, but a few promising signs here to be honest with you, and maybe kind of leading up to be one of the better, if not the best, kind of Cody Geass project away from the original 2 seasons. It does look like for me. Some interesting little setups here, but yeah, looking forward to seeing the remaining 11 episodes. Do let me know what you guys think about this one though down in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys do like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with these reactions. Again, if you guys are like new viewers to Code Geass, if you guys haven't watched the original series, which I doubt many of you guys that are going to check this out have not seen those, I wonder how this would be as like a viewing experience without that. I kind of think it would be absolutely fine to start with this, strangely enough. I wouldn't have thought that would be the case. Again, there's definitely connections there, but they're not like integral. They might be integral later on. Again, I'm not really sure of that. As I've mentioned before, I've seen the trailers, so there is a few characters from the past that we do see, but it might just be like we saw with Schneider there. It might just be like a little flashback or something, so might not actually be necessary viewing, which I find interesting. But again, do let me know what you guys think about this one in the comment section, and enjoy the rest of your day, guys.